Here's an article from Alex Thompson. Top Dems, Biden has losing strategy. Biden's core inner circle hasn't lost faith in that approach. The product of Biden and his longtime aide, Mike Donilon. Senior Democrats, including some of President Biden's aides, are increasingly dubious about his theory for victory in November. Okay? I'm not just talking about Israel-Palestine now. I'm talking about the attitude reflected from the Biden White House on every issue. Like, this is the way that he is operating. This is the modus operandi of an old man. He's dubious about his theory for victory in November, which relies on voter concerns about January 6th, political violence, democracy, and Trump's character. Biden's core inner circle hasn't lost faith in that approach, but that puts them on an island within much of the party about what will decide the election. As polls consistently have shown, Biden tied or even behind after a slight bump following Trump's criminal conviction. This is why I also laugh whenever Trump supporters huff on that copium like, oh, Trump's conviction actually helped him. It's like, no, it didn't. Okay, you're fucking delusional. Like, if it did, you wouldn't be fucking saying they arrested our boy because they can't defeat him electorally. Okay? You'd be celebrating it, which you weren't. Anyway, several polls have indicated voters are deeply concerned about democracy, but they are mostly worried about inflation and the economy. They've also shown Biden's support slipping among key Democratic voting groups. Blacks, Latinos, young adults, and union members, but the democracy message is resonating with older voters. Biden's former chief of staff, Ron Klain, who has known Donilon for decades, told Axios his view is, in Mike, I trust. What they're saying, a Democratic strategist in touch with the campaign told Axios, it is unclear to many of us watching from the outside whether the president and his core team realize how dire the situation is right now and whether they even have a plan to fix it. That's scary. People close to the president told Axios they worry about raising concerns in meetings because Biden's group of longtime loyal aides can exile dissenters. Okay? Biden is pushing people out when they actually tell him that he is doing something wrong. Pair that up with his long-term commitment to Zionism as a project that extends far beyond his presidential cycle, his presidential tenure, goes all the way back to the fucking 70s, where he has like publicly said that he loves Israel, that he would create an Israel if Israel didn't exist. The fact that he has told Israel that that they should kill more babies even. Okay? Biden being a Zionist is good. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's better than you thinking that this is a good way to fucking debate me at the top of the hour to serve an ad break with a fucking sock account that you created. You know? Biden being a Zionist is good. Thinking that this is going to work to serve a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour is great. I got clapped with a single text bait. Okay? Get back to that. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's not working. Get your funny up. Get your money up too. Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, like I said, for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Even for those close to the center, there is hesitance to raise skepticism or doubt about the current path for fear of being viewed as disloyal. A person in Biden's orbit told Axios, speaking on condition of anonymity because of those dynamics. There is not a discussion that a change of course is needed. Donilon, Biden's top political aide, privately has reassured people that voters will do the right thing in November by embracing democracy and rejecting Trump, according to a Biden aide who has heard Donilon say it. Joe Biden is a great president, and great presidents get reelected, is another common Donilon refrain. Donilon, one of the most experienced and understated Democratic operatives in the country, has worked with Biden since 1981. Do you know how many fucking L's Biden has taken since 1981? That's insane. He ran for president so many fucking times, man. He has argued that polls aren't fully reflecting voters' concerns about democracy. In response to questions for the story, Biden's advisors told Axios, these people have clearly not heard from Mike or anyone on the team the president's detailed case for re-election. Yeah, I'll look at the trailer later, or on the Tamil genocide. Where's democracy with Biden though? If he's demanding loyalty and rejecting dissent, he's just a fascist. Yeah, no, he's doing Trump shit. Donilon articulated a nuanced version of this to New Yorker's Evan Osnos earlier this year, saying that January 6th would affect the 2024 election, much like 9/11 was central to the 2004 election. The Democratic Party didn't want to believe it was a 9/11 election, Donilon told Osnos. I decided after that election, I would never be a part of a presidential campaign that didn't figure out with clarity what I wanted to say and stick to it. You are the most delusional man in the United States of America if you think Americans care about January 6th in the way that they cared about 9/11 3 years after 9/11. Americans do not give a shit about January 6th to the same degree because January 6th was nowhere near as impactful as 9/11. That is so fucking stupid. January 6th, literally, while it was happening, was a fucking meme. While it was happening. We watched it in real time. It was funny. January 6th was low-key funny as fuck. It was high-key funny as fuck. It was just hilarious. It was a bunch of entitled small business owners trying to fucking take shits on Nancy Pelosi's desk. That's it. By the election day this year, Donilon believes the focus will become overwhelming on democracy. I think the biggest images in people's minds are going to be of January 6th. This person must be doing the remainder crack cocaine that Hunter Biden left behind in the White House, because you have to be on crack to think that this is like your election strategy that will work. Like, he hasn't even brought up the A word, abortion. What the fuck are we doing? The strategy should be abortion, okay? Not January 6th. If this is one of his top fucking A's that's been around since 1981, holy shit, dude. These guys are so fucking out of touch. No, not autism. Abortion. Biden's inner circle is cohesive but insular. Aides joke that there's an unofficial no new friends rule. The group includes First Lady Jill Biden's top aide, Anthony Bernal, and the new Deputy Chief of Staff, Annie Tomasini. Low profile but powerful aides who have worked mostly for the Bidens since 2008 and are known for their focus on loyalty. When Tomasini was still the head of the Oval Office operations last year, she and Bernal surprised people by sitting on interviews for Biden's campaign manager, a person involved in the process told Axios. A source familiar with the interviews told Axios this was not a surprise. Annie and Anthony are part of senior advisors group, and every senior advisor was part of the interviews. Zoom in. Despite a year head start, a larger campaign team, and spending more than twice what Trump's team has spent on ads since early March, Biden's numbers against Trump have largely stayed the same for the past few months, with the slight bump after Trump's conviction. During the ad campaigns and Trump's trial, however, Biden's average approval rating hit an all-time low on June 9th with 37.4 with 56.7 disapproving, according to 538. His current approval rate is at 38.4%. Longtime Democratic strategist Howard Wolfson, who worked for former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg in the 2020 primary against Biden, told Axios, if the election were today, we would lose. Can that change? Yes. Is it on the path to do so? I don't see that yet. Let's go, Israel. Yes. Let's go, baby. Please kill more children, Israel. Kill more Palestinian children. They are Hamas. The stakes for the debate on June 27th between Biden and Trump are sky high, he said, which is true. So the Biden team, I think, is still resting on the low expectation move. Everyone has low expectations on Biden. Everyone thinks Trump is going to fucking clean up and wipe the floor with Biden. If Biden can at least be like a little bit competent, that will be shocking to people. Normally, debates don't matter all that much, but this is a unique circumstance where, like, the campaign strategy has been obviously, like, wheeling out Biden, as little as possible, basically. So he doesn't get a big amount of media presence in general, especially uninterrupted, especially live broadcasted media attention, especially in a contentious room against a person like Donald Trump. So this is going to be a unique opportunity for voters to see whether or not he still has, everything intact. If he flubs even a little bit, it's so bad. It's going to be so fucking bad for him. I'm very excited to watch the debates nonetheless. This is also something that I have been telling you guys about in perpetuity. Arizona, +4 for Trump. Nevada, +3 for Trump. Wisconsin, +3 for Trump. Pennsylvania, +2 for Trump. Minnesota! Michigan, +1 for Trump. Minnesota tied. Meanwhile, Senate races, you got +4 Dem, +12 Dem, +2 Dem, +6 Dem, +4 Dem, +11 Dem, +11, +12. We are looking at a unique circumstance where the down ballot races might carry the top of the ticket to victory. Okay? That is insane. You're looking at a 15-point disparity here in the opposite direction. That is crazy. This is precisely the reason why I say it's not that people fucking hate the Democratic Party or the Democrats in general. The Democrats are doing great in comparison to how they are normally perceived by the public. The reason for that is because the Republican Party broadly is doing very poorly. Why are they doing very poorly? Because of the same sentiment that Biden and his team are talking about, the anti-democracy takes, the abortion shit. Like, this kind of stuff has genuinely soured a lot of the likely voters. A lot of likely voters, especially older, educated white voters that normally fucking vote for the Republican Party, are like, yeah, this shit kind of has gone too far. It's a little out of control. I think it's a little chaotic. The Democrats are handing the Republicans are handing the Democrats an electoral victory. Having said that, however, the Democrats are returning the favor. Dems aren't doing anything. Republicans are just doing way too much. That's not true either. Moderate Republicans aren't raging fascists? You mean like moderate Republican voters, you mean? And even if they have a lot of allegiances with like white supremacist opinions and stuff like that, they just don't like the way it looks. They get the ick. Normie Republicans, not moderate Republicans, but normie Republicans might be just as racist as any other fucking dude, but they just get a ick from the sweaty psychos. What is this? President Biden will take the right podium position on CNN's presidential debate after his campaign won a coin flip, and Trump will get the last word. What is this? His team won the debate coin toss and gave up having the last word for standing on the right-hand side of the debate. Holy shit. Maybe that's his better side. Except most polls show a split right now. Doesn't mean it has the last, but nothing specific to Emerson. So yeah. So why did I talk about this? Why did I talk about Biden's reelection chances? Let's get back to the matter at hand here. Because I think focusing on Biden's campaign and reading the fucking tea leaves and the way that he operates internally will help you make a better assessment on why the American government has not put the fucking reins on Israel's unhinged behavior. Because the same dynamic very much exists on that front as well, because Israel has become an election issue. Maybe it's not the most significant election issue, but it's still an election issue nonetheless. And it will certainly become a much larger election issue, and maybe even the election issue, because foreign policy is never the top priority until it's the only priority. Okay? That's how it goes in American politics. Most Americans don't really give a shit until that's all they give a shit about. And if Israel invades Lebanon and then forces American soldiers to defend or to also invade Lebanon alongside Israel, if America is forced to offer even more material support to Israel, then that will be the only election issue that people care about. Because that's just like, you know, one step removed from World War III. Especially if Iran gets involved. Having said that, however, it's not like the situation looks great for Biden's reelection nonetheless. So even if 10% of the voter base, let's say, hypothetically, care about Gaza, right? He still needs that 10%. He needs it so much. And yet, he's not looking for it. He's not trying to get it. That's the reason why I talked about his reelection campaign, because I wanted you to understand there are voices in the State Department, there are voices in American politics right now that are trying to say, we got to reign Israel. We got to reign in Israel. We got to reign in Israel. There are people who are saying that. There are people in the State Department. There are people amongst the generals, because they see the writing on the wall. They see that Israel's actions are becoming increasingly more chaotic and harming American soft power, harming America's capabilities, harming America's military power, making America look like it is powerless in front of its ally. It's powerless in influencing its ally and offering unconditional, unlimited support to its most significant ally in the region. It makes America look weak. Okay? In a way, this is a continuation of Donald Trump making America look ridiculous in the global stage. Okay? It's also harming Israel's future prospects. Israel becoming a pariah state ultimately will lead to the dissolution and the end of the apartheid. So I believe that there's a good ending to that story, but there's a lot of bad that will happen in the process, because these kinds of fascist nations famously do not go out without flinging as much dirt and hurting as many people in the region as possible. That means deaths, more children dying, more women dying, more men dying, more buildings being demolished. Okay? And Biden has created a hug box, an echo chamber of sorts, in the way that he is dealing with this very significant foreign policy issue.